farmers, and welcome to another episode of the harvest season. My name is Cody.
And my name is Jonnie.
And we're here today to talk about cottagecore games. Woo! Though I am also prepared to talk about goblin core games because I just got a goblin core coloring book, and it has a lot of like moths and snails and other like cute things, and I really like it. I'm excited to color in it.
You can just rename, like, what would the harvest season be if we went full goblin core?
Probably the Cody season, because everyone says I am goblin core.
Right, welcome everyone to the Cody season.
Nobody wants that. Transcripts are always available in the show notes and on the website, so you can go there to find those if you need them. Today, Jonnie and I will be doing a second harvest of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Jonnie, you were on the original episode, yeah?
Yeah, that was my first appearance on the harvest season because I loved Disney Dreamlight Valley. Do I still love it? We can find out.
Stay tuned. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. I started playing it a couple months ago, maybe because of this episode. So you're getting someone from really early on in the early access to someone who is more recent. And then it came out 2 days ago as of this recording. 3 days ago as of this recording. 3 days for me, 4 days for you, Jonnie. And so we might have, I think that there were some changes. Some things changed when the 1.0 came out. So we're going to discuss our thoughts. Before that, there is, of course, always news. A shocking amount of news, given that I just recorded about news with Al 2 days ago. Oh, how things change. But first, we're going to talk about what we've been up to. Jonnie, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I tried to jump on the Coral Island train, and I was playing it on Xbox. And unfortunately, the game is in a state where there's some pretty game-breaking bugs early on. So I really like what I've played. But currently, there's a bug where the game crashes when you donate your 10th item to the museum. And I like donating things to museums in games, and I kind of hit that bug, and it really just made me not want to play until that's fixed. Yeah. So I like the idea of Coral Island, but I had to put it down to wait for bugs to be fixed, which is a bit of a shame. And other than that, I've been playing Forza Motorsport because the new one of those just dropped, and there's something nice about car racing games where you can kind of switch your brain off, like not fully, just enough to be like, when do I brake? When do I turn? And I like the more sort of simulation style racing games rather than like the Forza Horizon, which is more arcadey style racing. Mm-hmm. So I've kind of just been enjoying that where you sort of, jump on, do a race. It takes like 10, 20 minutes or something. And then it's kind of just a nice little reset. So I probably won't stick with it for that long because it's just on Game Pass, which is nice. And Game Pass continues to just be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. So I got it for Farming Simulator with you. And then I forgot to get rid of it. And then I was looking at what was available on it, and I saw that things like Disney Dreamlight Valley, Mineko's Night Market, Coral Island, like all of these different things were available on it. And so I was like, well, guess I'm gonna stick with Game Pass for a while because it is really nice. And it's giving the opportunity to play a diversity of games. Do you play?
And it's just a nice way to try some stuff out, right?
Yeah.
Without expending a bunch of money.
Do you play Trackmania?
I do not play Trackmania. Okay. I feel like I need to look up Trackmania.
So Trackmania is kind of like what you're saying, like it's a race style game. It doesn't feel like an arcade style. It feels like kind of more of a real thing. But you're basically racing against your own time. Now that I'm talking about it, it sounds like an arcade one, but it feels really cool. And there are streamers that play Trackmania that have like setups that mimic cars that do like the pedals actually like are pressure sensed. So they'll like gas as much as they push and stuff like that. It gets really crazy. So there's a decent amount of people out there doing it. I believe it's free. It's pretty cool.
I might have to give that a go.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, other than that, I haven't been gaming too much. So that's where I'm at. Cody, what have you been up to?
I have been playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, surprise, surprise, but also my Tetris game as always. Hilariously, I think over the last 2 days, I'm loading it right now, I am almost at 1 million points. 986,000 points. And there is a cruise available right now that is 1.5 million. They have a thing going on right now where you get 5 times bonus points. I honestly have no idea. But I'm getting like 5 times the amount of VIP points that I have been. I don't know if it's like a holiday thing. So I've been playing quite a bit. And I went from, I think I was like 550,000 about a week ago. And I've just been Tetrising up a storm. So that's exciting. Cruise on the horizon. I did calculate it. So the points pay for the cabin, which is about $1,000. But I still have to pay a lot of money. So it's not like it's a
See,
free,
this is
it's not a free cruise.
This is how they get you. Cody, I feel like we might need an intervention.
No. I always want to have that cruise in my back pocket. But yeah, so
well, you and your Tetris cult seem to be going well.
Well, you say Tetris cult. It's a cult of one. I don't know anyone else that I've gotten into this game. I don't like everyone just makes fun of me for it, and I'm spitefully going to play it more because of that.
Sorry, the Tetris cult that you are blindly a part of and haven't realized yet.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes. If you are also part of the Tetris cult, please reach out. I don't want to be alone in the Tetris cult. Yeah, so I've been playing a ton. I've been really focused on research and life stuff. So, yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Well, should we talk about some news?
Yeah, we should.
Because it's been 2 days, so there's only an hour's worth of news here to talk about.
Well, so some of it, NPR put out their Best New Games 2023 article. The article is linked in the show notes. It's games, I think for all, it's not just Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. I think it also has like Steam games and stuff on it. But so NPR went around to a bunch of their production people, like the people who make NPR run, and asked them for game recommendations and what games they thought were the best games of this year. And some of the games include things that you would expect, like Baldur's Gate. But there were also some that were games that we have covered on this pod, and I think it's nice to just shout them out a little bit. So first we have Terra Nil, which was recommended by Alex Curley, who is the product manager in distribution. Chia by Graham Reboon. I'm going to butcher half these names. A software engineer in publishing. Venba, which was suggested by Rakisha Chase Jackson, who's the project manager and member partnership. Hello Kitty Island Adventure, suggested by Nina Phil, project coordinator in training. And then we have a couple here that have because each of these, they don't just say the name, they also have kind of a little blurb about the game and recommending it. And some of the blurbs had some pretty funny things. So I have a couple that I pulled out of here. So Fae Farm, we did the Fae Farm episode, didn't we?
We did.
I was about to say, you did that episode. I'm like, no. I was also there. Arfi Getty, the producer of 1A, said, quote, "But while Fae Farm nails many elements of cozy games, it doesn't compare to Stardew Valley's deep cast of characters to court and befriend. Azoria's residents ring hollow with extremely repetitive dialogue. If I hear, quote, 'I'm looking forward to planting my spring crops one more time,' I'll snap." Though the game doesn't offer many surprises, I still find myself coming back to it. I think I remember you saying this, right? That you thought that the characters were very two-dimensional.
Two-dimensional, and I think I kind of came to that realization on day one. So for me reading this, I was like, yes, that is exactly how I feel about Fae Farm. Though I don't know that since we did that episode, I have felt a strong pull to go back to that game because it's kind of like a pretty exterior, but as Afi says, it's hollow on the inside.
Oh no. My comment for this is that it seems like a bad relationship. Can someone please check on Arfie for us? Thank you. And I will be checking on Jonnie. Nina Phil recommended, also still the project coordinator from training, also recommended Mineko's Night Market. And I loved her blurb here. Quote, there are many cats. First, you have to evade the secretive suit-clad agents who catnap them, and then you sneak around freeing them in each area of the island. After that, you get to pet the cats, who meow, purr, and follow you around. They'll even vomit hairballs, thankfully off-screen, that you can collect to sell or craft with. New vendors and their rare inventories arrive as you make more money, and each titular night market ends with a whimsical activity, be it a parade or racing cats around a track. If you're a cozy gamer and a cat lover, head to Mount Fugu. You won't regret it. Very
or alternatively, listen to the episode that is it Kevin Al who did the Mineko's Night Market episode. It's a great cozy little game. I agree with pretty much everything that was said here, except I kind of now want to see the vomiting of hairballs on screen. That sounds kind of funny.
No, I'm good. Have you owned a cat ever?
Yes.
Okay, because that is like the one thing I always love. Like my dogs, I'll sleep through anything. I will sleep through my dog, like literally like ripping apart an entire toilet paper roll before. I've done that. Like I've woken up and been like, it looks like a toilet paper roll just like exploded in my room. I'll sleep through a lot of things, but cats throwing up is not one of them.
I mean, it's not great, but that's kind of why I want to see it in a game like this, because I think it'd be pretty funny.
It would be cute if it was a cute hairball, but it's really hard to make that cute. Though if they could, the people at Mineko would be able to do it. Story of Seasons, right. A Wonderful Life. So our last two blurbs come from Becky Brown. Becky, you nailing this. Broadcast recording technician. First one was for Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Quote, I am more romantically attracted to the game's spreadsheet than any of its wooden bachelor or bachelorettes who never change their small talk even after you dutifully court them for 3 months with milk soup and old coins. The obligatory divinely delivered child that you produce with your chosen spouse offers more conversation. But remember, if you'd like to encourage their artistic talent, refuse any physical affection and schedule the play dates with the local pyrotechnicians.
I mean, I love this description. It's so good.
Your child communicates so well that if you want them to be an artist, that you have to like send them off to the local emos. Okay.
I mean, that's how good artists get made, right?
It's true. You have to have some sort of solitude, some sort of deep. Yeah, for sure. And then Becky's final suggestion was Moonstone Island. Quote, whatever genre mashup Moonstone Island may present itself as, it's ultimately a floating islands creature collector. Such a burn. Like, I mean, she still recommended it. It's like a burn, but it's like a self-aware burn of like, I'm playing this game, I recommend this game, but this game doesn't know what the heck it's doing. And I'm just going to tell you, this is what it's doing. So
I feel like that's so many cottagecore games in 2023 though, right? They're like, we are a deck building, cozy, farm, life sim, MMO, RPG, roguelite. Yep. And it's just like, just be one of those.
And then the DLC will add a rhythm-based game. Like,
yes.
The DLC will change something, like change the game completely. So stupid. Yeah, so that was that. There are a bunch of other games that they suggest, some of which are good games that I have played or seen and wanted to play. But obviously it was like 90 games or something. It was a lot of games on that list. So if you want to see what other games the NPR folks have, that link is in the show notes.
And if you're like me and surprised that NPR still exists, then, you know.
Does New Zealand not have an NPR?
I mean, I feel like the era of NPR podcasts being the thing is dead, and the world is better for that. I do not like their style of podcast.
Well, it's not just podcasts. It's just National Public Radio. Like, I can tune into it on my car ride.
Oh yeah, we definitely don't have that. That's
okay.
not a thing.
Yeah, because it's something I listen to on my car ride. They have like podcasts or certain segments of NPR that they put out in a podcast form, but it is not solely podcasts. It's for me, it's mostly, wow, it's 8 and I'm driving to school. Let me see what's on the news. And 2 seconds later, I'm like, that's enough.
Yeah, news is depressing.
The world
Except
sucks.
for the news that we have, because, our news is very uplifting.
Like the Game Awards.
This is actually our only news source. Well, I say that, and then we go into the Game Awards, which, Game Awards sucks, so...
Yeah. Game Awards were yesterday. Baldur's Gate seemed to sweep. I actually didn't even see if they won Best Game or anything, but I'm assuming so. I was scrolling through to find anything that's relevant to this podcast, and I was like, Baldur's Gate. Oh, yep. Yep. But for the Games for Impact category, which is a category that is the winner is a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message, the winner with this year was Chia. So awesome. Chia is the super cute little game set in New Caledonia, and it has a lot of culturally aware and culturally relevant material from New Caledonia, and that's awesome. So yay, Chia. Good job. From Jonnie.
I'm just refusing to talk about I refuse to acknowledge the Game Awards.
Okay, cool. Cool. The Game Awards, you mean Moonstone Island, which is our next piece of news?
Yes.
We honestly should have put the Game Awards before the NPR thing, because then the Moonstone Island news would have flowed seamlessly. Al, if you can just do some wizardry editing. No, don't do that. Moonstone Island has a new free update and paid DLC coming. Paid DLC is called December Lovely Cozies, which is...
Yeah. I feel like every time I'm on an episode, Moonstone Island just has more DLC coming out, so I think it's cool that they have kind of that constant stream of stuff, and they seem to be doing a balance between free and paid, which I think is cool. So great. I haven't dipped into Moonstone Island at all. I don't know if you have.
Nope.
But yeah, it seems like they're putting stuff out, so maybe that's something we will get to in 2027 when some space frees up in our respective gaming calendars.
You think I'll be available then? I'm booking out to 2030.
One of us might be available.
That's true. It's true. I will say the snowboard in the paid DLC. Paid DLC is just $3.99 USD. The snowboard looks pretty cool, especially if you can change the color of the snowboard. I'm not a big pink human, but being able to have a snowboard in a game is kind of unique, especially if it allows you to move faster or something. And then the free DLC includes festive decorations, more ice spirits. You can name your spirits, an even bigger barn, all in caps, and a bunch of different things. So if you are playing Moonstone Island and we're taking a break because you've done everything, here you go. This is coming now. It's already out. It's already out. What's the next news item that you
next
know
news
more
item
about?
is Dredge and Dave the Diver are doing a crossover. So to be clear, this is DLC for Dave the Diver, and it's a crossover with Dredge. So for those that don't remember, you can go back and listen to the Dredge episode that Kev and I did earlier this year as part of Fishing Month. But Dredge is the sort of Lovecraftian horror fishing game, and now that's bleeding its way into Dave the Diver, which is concerning because Dave the Diver does not seem like the sort of game that Lovecraftian horror is necessarily a great fit, but it is a great fit in terms of that, indie game sort of doing cool DLC that sort of takes the game in a different direction. I haven't had a chance to play Dave the Diver yet, and this kind of just reminded me that I want to play Dave the Diver, but it doesn't necessarily make me want to play it more, even though it's a cool crossover. And I just like to see, different developers kind of working with each other and, utilizing their brand awareness to, hopefully get more people playing more games, which is cool. So this looks cool. Yeah.
A lot of games doing weird crossovers lately.
Oh yeah.
Which in a couple news items will be more relevant. Next news item is about Palia, which is a really cute little MMO. Believe it's been out for a minute.
I have no idea. I forgot about this game until it popped up in the news.
I'm pretty sure it's been out for a while. Oh, there's an open beta. So yeah, it's the longest of open betas. You build a life with friends in our cozy sim MMO set in a high fantasy world. It's gorgeous. It has a lot of ability to change things. What is it? Creativity?
Yeah, creativity and, I think the thing that stood out is when they were decorating the house, you could, adjust things. It wasn't just the 4 degrees or 4, rotations. You could rotate anything to any direction to lay out things in a way that you really wanted to, which that really stood out to me. That looked awesome. I kind of forgot this game existed. And watching the trailer, it gave me strong World of Warcraft vibes, but a slightly more up-to-date art style. And it kind of just made me interested in the idea of a cozy MMO. I don't really understand how that would work, but I'm into the idea and I'm maybe keen to find out.
Yeah. I am also interested in finding out, so if you mayhap want play together, let me know.
Hell yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Did we actually say the news that the news is that it's coming to Switch on the 14th of December?
We'll get to that eventually. First, let's come up with what day next week are you available? No, I'm kidding. So yeah, it's coming to Switch on December 14th, and you get specific Nintendo Switch awards if you link your account and log on with Nintendo Switch Live. You get a Leap Froggy outfit, a mushroom glider, and a Froggy bucket. I don't know why they're frog themed, whatever. Available, and that's until January 14th, 2024. So if you really want that froggy outfit, you gotta do it. You gotta get on it. They are cute little outfits, I'm not gonna lie. I would like a purple one. Yeah, looks like a really cute game. So, is this game leaving early access? No idea. But Palia, very cute.
Yeah. I think you're more excited about this next news item than I am, so why don't you take the lead on this one?
I'm not excited at all. I think both of us were like, ugh.
Correct.
Harvestman 64 is now on Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. That's it. That's the news. The next thing, so this is going back to cool crossovers and questionable crossovers. Lego Fortnite.
So I've never been a Fortniter. I've never played Fortnite. I've never had any interest in playing Fortnite. I really, really want to play this. It looks friggin' awesome. It makes so much sense. First of all, before we get too much into this, is this out now? Because that's the trailer is hey, just find it in Fortnite. So I assume this is out now. That's my assumption, right? I'm gonna log off this call and I'm gonna go download Fortnite. That's what I'm doing.
Well,
is that right?
Don't do that. Seeing as how there's a Lego Fortnite Twitter page, I think it is.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So the trailer, basically, it's just now there is Minecraft in Fortnite, and it's Lego. Yeah, that's what this is, right? And it makes so much sense, right? Fortnite has the infrastructure, the building mechanics, everything done. All they were missing is what's the reason? And then Lego pops up and is hey, we exist. And it just makes sense. And I would say I was in the category of people that was if you asked me yesterday, will you ever play Fortnite? I would be hell no.
Why
Fortnite
would I do that? No, it's
stupid
disgusting.
game for stupid babies. It's gross. I don't want to be associated with Fortnite. But all it took is Lego, and now I am I am in. I want to do this.
So the thing that gets me is that I will say I haven't played Fortnite in a hot minute, but this doesn't even. This looks like this.
It's not Fortnite. It's
not
Minecraft
Fortnite.
with Lego.
Yeah, it's Minecraft Lego with a Fortnite skin.
Yeah, well, so I assume that this is kind of the next evolution of Fortnite, where the game itself is so popular, using it as a base for essentially new games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this just looks like a new game. Like, this is not like, oh, if you like Fortnite, there's now Lego Fortnite. It's like, no. Do you like Minecraft? If so, download Fortnite and play Lego Minecraft. Like, this looks like it's made for listeners of the harvest season, because there's farming, there's building. You know, Lego kind of gives it a more cozy vibe. Like, I'm not really a Minecraft person. It just never quite clicked with me. I know you've been a bit of a Minecraft person. So I feel like we're just going to get lost in this one. Like, it's inevitable. This is what our lives are going to be now. Like, Palia, yeah, we might try that, but Lego Fortnite, this is going to be what we do for the next year of our lives.
Be careful how you say "our."
Look, I know how you operate. You're gonna get sucked into this. I guarantee.
I don't want to do this. So Al wrote, Fortnite is a farming game now, apparently. I said, how does this have anything to do with Fortnite? Al said, it is the game, Fortnite. It has something to do with it in the same way that Jack Skellington has to do with Disney Dreamlight Valley. It is in the game. Lego Fortnite is part of Fortnite for some reason. The for some reason just got me. I could like read it in his words and like the sass, because he also wrote that comment at like very late last night. It was really funny. He's just sick of my goober stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for this though. I'll watch other people play it, but gosh darn, I miss me with the.
So you will live in denial for a few weeks, and then eventually you will come over to the dark side.
Okay, cool. I would also go over to the dark side for a Clomper plushie, which is our next news item. Clomper and Glanter plushes. These are creatures from Ooblets. Those plushes are now available in the United States, and they are joining Shrumbo. Clomper, just look at him's little face. There is not a thought inside those eyes.
I mean, I think the Clomper, like, I'm a known Ooblets hater, right? My problem is, like, I agree. The Clomper plush, super cute. When I saw in the news, Clomper and Glanter plushes are out, I couldn't even give you a guess as to what they looked like until I clicked on the link and saw the picture.
You were like, oh yeah,
Shrumbo,
right, that one.
Shrumbo, yeah, Shrumbo was the one name that, like, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm pretty sure I know what Shrumbo is. But, I mean, come on. Like, just do better, Ooblets. Do better.
Yep.
But very cute.
Very cute. I just realized that these next items, I don't even know if there's news about. I don't know what the news is, or if they're just new games that have recently been introduced, and I believe that is the case. Okay, so we have.
I believe that is the case. I don't think we've talked about any of these yet.
Yeah, I think that the last one I added, and I believe it's already out. So that one is going to be coming soon. Like, you will hear more about it. But these other three, these are new games that just popped up on our horizon. So the first one is called Loose Leaf. It is a tea witch simulator. It looks really cute. It's a very hyper realistic tea brewing simulation.
Yeah, so I'm going to call, we've hit peak witch. No more witches. If you are working on a game, we are at peak witch. We do not need any more witches.
So,
do something else.
I agree. I think that's, if they just said brew tea and read folks' tarots, like if they said the psychic simulator or something, I would have been more, the word witch was in it, and I was like, miss me. Like, not interested.
Yeah.
It looks really cute. Yeah. I like the concept of reading people's tarot. I am not a tarot human personally, but I have a friend who collects tarot decks. I believe that they're gorgeous. And I understand the usage of tarot to self-reflect, because you can kind of read what you want whenever you're if you have something in mind, but you're like not sure what you want.
Yeah.
It helps.
And I liked the look of this game. So I tried a few of the there was like those brewing sort of simulator games that came out in the last few years, and none of them really clicked because they were sort of missing an interesting game element where you were kind of just going through the motions to make a thing and then sell the thing, and it's kind of just missing that game aspect. And I think the addition of that tarot card reading in the trailer, it sort of shows. Some activity that looks like, you do some interpretation and that being very tied to the tea that you're brewing for your customer. To me, it just was like, oh, this feels like a more complete game experience that does appeal to me.
Yeah.
I also just really vibe with them calling it the most in-depth tea brewing simulation ever. Like there is this plethora of tea brewing simulation out there.
Yeah. It's like, it is the most in-depth shred junk mail simulator and turn shredded junk mail into planters to give to children and dogs simulator. It's like, oh, there's so many games that are just scratching that itch. So goober. Also, the fact that they say ever makes me think that what if someone comes out with a more in-depth one and then they have to make theirs more in-depth.
Yeah. But the release date on this one is to be announced, so my guess would be probably not till late 2024, early 2025 at the earliest.
Ooh, we getting some estimates from Jonnie.
Cody, I think we have a problem.
What's up? The next one?
This next game is going to be a huge problem in my life.
Yeah. Literally, my first comment is, no, this is dangerous.
I saw that comment and I opened the link and I was like, I don't know, and this is fine. And then I read about what is going on with this game, and I was like, oh no.
So this game is called Rusty's Retirement, and it's on Steam. It'll be available on Steam. It's not available yet, but whenever it is,
Q1 2024.
Lord help us all. The game, quote, plant crops, produce biofuel, and automate. A relaxing idle farming simulator. Okay, see, if you just pause there. Awesome.
Great.
Cool. That sits at the bottom of your screen while you do other things. So this is imagine you have a Chrome screen up. This is at the bottom of it perpetually. So you're trying to work, you're trying to code, you're trying to write a paper, but you're like, oh, my crops are ready. Oh, my automation is, I need to fix that. Oh, I don't like the way I organize that.
We're going to be sitting here recording episodes of the harvest season.
Playing
it's just going to be five minutes of silence in the recording.
I detect no lies. In this game, it just looks so peaceful and pleasing, and it looks like things are floating around. I don't even remember if there's
no video yet, but coming out soon. And the thing that we've talked a few times about the idea of a idle farming game, like a Trimps or something like that. And I think this is such a smart/evil way of doing something like this, where it's just omnipresent on your screen. You can kind of just do it in the background. And I think this is, the pixel art style in general is very overplayed in a cottagecore. But in this case, it makes a ton of sense. And I like the pixel art style. It does feel visually distinct from a lot of other games.
I love in their blurb, they say multitasking. Rusty's Retirement is built to sit comfortably at the bottom of your screen, allowing you to do other tasks while caring for your farm. Zoom in or out for a less distracting view, or alternatively, turn on focus mode, which slows down crop production. They don't say turn the game off. They say turn on focus mode.
We help you focus by making the game move slightly slower.
It'll move slower. We know you're not going to turn this game off. We know it. Oh my gosh, this game.
The other thing I like is automation with robots. I think that's such a cool way of doing automation. And there's a GIF partway down on the page that sort of shows all of the robots coming out from what looks like a shed to harvest crops or do a bunch of other things. And I'm just like, oh my God, this looks so visually satisfying for how this game is gonna play. So I'm afraid.
I'm afraid. Haha, I'm in danger.
Yeah, I'm just need to I need to jam all of my productivity in now, so that when this comes out, I
don't have to be productive.
I can Yep.
Okay. 2 more games. First one, I don't have a lot to say about this. Home Free, quote, developed by Acorn Land Labs, Home Free is a solar punk off-grid video game that's more than mere entertainment. It's a bridge to a possible future, one where we return to the essence of living in harmony with nature. Drawing direct inspiration from real-life technologies, this game offers an immersive guide to simpler, sustainable, and self-sufficient living. Innovative methane digesters, solar ovens, efficient photovoltaics, biomass heating, biogas cooking, and elegant composting solutions all exist today. Explore them in Home Free.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a huge amount to say either. It's cool to be sort of taking a sustainable approach and a look toward the future of what could be possible, and using a game as a vehicle for making people aware of this sort of stuff, which is a cool thing to do. But equally, I think you need something more to kind of make a game like this land, and I'll just need to see more before it's actually something that interests me or not. But
yeah.
Cool idea.
Yeah, for sure. And finally, the game that I have already purchased and just need to play, it's called Bug and Seek. And I literally wrote, I don't care if this isn't cottagecore. This podcast is now cottagecore games and bug games for Cody. So I guess I didn't have to say that the Goblin Core version of this podcast is the Cody season. We can just call it bug games for Cody. Bug and Seek, quote, catch bugs and clues in this cozy bug-catching sim creature collector styled like an 8-bit classic. You've bought the local bug museum, abandoned after a mysterious robbery. Fill orders, build your collection, and upgrade your skills and equipment while exploring Bugburg and uncovering its secrets.
I like the idea that you own the museum.
Exactly.
That's a very cool thing to me.
As someone who works in a museum and would not be an insect museum and would not be upset to continue to do that as a career, color me intrigued.
Yeah. And I'm just watching the trailer for it now, and it looks like that there is incentive to catch bugs multiple times. And what I mean by that is, in games like Animal Crossing or Coral Island or whatever, where they have bug catching, you catch the bug the first time and you donate it to the museum, and then after that it's just hey, now it's a source of money. But it looks like they're tying some sort of leveling up or skills mechanic to catching a bug multiple times. So I don't know. This is just a cool little idea. Yeah. I think it's only out on Steam currently.
Yeah, but it is on Steam, Mac and Windows. So I'm buying it because I can play it on my Mac, so that when I am doing bug science and then I need a break, I can play. Yeah, that was all the news. A lot of news, but we can shift on over to our main topic of second harvest of Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Hi listeners, just a very quick note from Al from the future here. This episode, this discussion of Disney Dreamlight Valley does include some reasonably heavy topics. So if you're not emotionally in a place to deal with those sorts of things, then just bear that in mind. On with the topic.
I will mention that this podcast was already, this game was already the topic of a podcast called I Listened to Goofy on October 19th, 2022, and that had Al and Jonnie. And so if you want to hear kind of how does this game play? How does it, what are the benefits? What are our critical review of it or whatever? That's where you'd find that. This is kind of us just talking about the game on a more casual, less structured way.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts and questions that I've written down, and I also have notes that I like on the what are these things? Show notes. But also in a physical form that I can read through and look through. But also just hearing what Jonnie's thoughts are a year out. And are you still playing Disney Dreamlight?
So over the course of the year, I've kind of like dipped in and out as content has come out. I find I think what they're going for is a game that kind of wants you to check in daily. I don't find that's how I want to play this game. I find I want to play it for like, intensely for like a week or two and churn through a bunch of the content and then put it back down. So that's probably more what I've been doing over the course of the year is picking it up once a few months have passed. I'll play it a lot for a week and then I'll put it down for another few months and then pick it back up again.
I mean, I feel like that's a good way to play it as well. It's like, you play the content that's available but they're releasing a good amount of stuff like consistently. So you're not like really ever bored. Too much. And I think another benefit of playing daily, because there are kind of like in Animal Crossing where there's like the money rock every day or whatever, right? Like one rock that you hit with a shovel and then it just will give you a heck ton of bells. This has similar things. There's like the night thorns. There's always at least one night thorn that has popped up overnight that just gives out a heck ton of coins. So you can like find that and get rid of the night thorn, your valley.
I just think, my reflection, since we recorded the first episode on what I like about this game is it doesn't hit the same parts of my brain as a game like Animal Crossing does. Like I am much more driven by the character story quest side of this game than I am the daily check-in life sim aspect of this game, which I think is why I don't like. But that stuff absolutely exists, and it's I think that's what they're going for, is that daily check-in style. That's just not the part that this game hits for me.
Yeah. What is it like? What is the appeal of it for you?
It's the characters, right? So the way I think the characters interact in this game is magical. To me, that's the real highlight of the game, and it's not just I have nostalgia for this series of Disney characters, and it's a fun way to interact with them. It's actually that the Disney characters from different properties interact with each other in ways that are really thoughtful, and add a lot to those characters and what you like about characters, and for some that you potentially don't know as well, kind of present them in a way that makes them, makes you want to go and watch a movie about them. So an example of that is as part of Scar's storyline, he's on the hunt for food, and Remy keeps trying to find food for him to cook. But obviously, being a life sim game, there's not a strong focus on meat outside of fish, right? It's not like you can just go and kill a cow and get a steak. That's what Scar wants. And Remy interacting with Scar is not something that I ever had on my bingo card. I've never watched Ratatouille, but this made me want to. Right. This made me want to go and watch Ratatouille after seeing them interact and have this storyline together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, gosh, I can't remember what the ones for me were. Maybe it was like Merlin and Ariel. Or like, no, it was Ursula and Stitch, I think. Because Ursula hates Stitch. And Stitch ends up going and apologizing to Ursula because he's, annoyed her or whatever. And I was like, this is crazy. Right? And the characters are so genuine. Yes. Like, and they don't make the villains like a good guy. Like, they're still pretty clearly a villain. Pretty clearly. I mean, they try and like help with keeping the valley alive or whatever. Like they'll help a little bit, and you can like befriend them and stuff. But Like Scar isn't. There's like one moment where I thought he was trying to poison me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and it was like, oh, I got my eye on you.
Yeah. So Scar all the time is like, are you sure you're the right person to be in charge? Because I'm really, really good at being in charge.
I could be better. Oh, I tried to poison you. Oh, I thought that would work. And then I could be in charge. It's like, excuse? Yeah, so I guess so you've hit credits.
I have.
Okay. I have not hit credits. The story kind of like in the valley, you come to it and everyone keeps talking about this ruler that used to exist. I guess here is a mild spoiler. I don't know how spoilery we want to get, and I obviously I don't want you to spoil the ending for me, so we're spoiling kind of midway. You were the ruler, but part of you, your inner child, ripped itself out of you, and that part of you has a lot of bad feelings and negative thoughts, and you are trying to help heal that part of you. And it was, man, there was literally a part, oh my gosh, I took a picture. There was literally a part where I was playing and it is going to go into the backstory of the character, into your history. And it literally gives you a content warning. Scrolling back through.
Yeah, that part of the game is, or sort of the main story that revolves around your character, I think is exceptionally well done, particularly for, likely people that are listening to this podcast, right? Because a lot of us have the connection to these characters from our childhood, and I think the fact that you were the past ruler is not a spoiler. I think you picked that up in sort of the first 10 minutes of the... of the game. It's heavily implied, right? That,
well, because people are like, I don't know where the ruler went. You look really familiar.
Yeah. So it's not revealed, but it's very heavily foreshadowed very early on in the game. Yeah. But I think it's and in the story of that, this being an important part of your youth and reconnecting with the characters, but in a slightly different way, is a really great storyline. It's also presented in a way that doesn't, I think, it's not like the game, I don't think, wouldn't land for, younger players. They may not pick up on all of the aspects, but I don't think it's presented in a way where they would be, not having fun with the game. Little things like the Night Thorns effectively, or the overall thing that's happening is called the Forgetting or something, right?
The Forgetting, yeah.
Which you can pretty quick up represents you as the character sort of forgetting about this aspect of your childhood or becoming more distant from it, and a lot of the negative things in the world being sort of the result of you becoming distant from Disney and from these characters. So I think it's just a really good setup, and one of the things that stands out to me, so it would have been really easy for it to come across as kind of hokey or cliche, and it doesn't. Sometimes it gets close to that line, particularly with characters like Mickey and Minnie and Goofy, because they're kind of just overly earnest characters anyway. But as you progress through the game, I think the story is handled really, really well. Well,
and even those characters are positive and they just have this never ending enthusiasm and stuff, but they do the people that designed this game do them pretty dirty, because it starts off and Mickey's in the world, but he can't find Minnie, and then she's kind of a ghost for a while, and then you finally make her real again, but she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't know who Mickey is. So imagine missing the person you love, and then you finally find them and they're just who are you?
Yeah.
It's oh my gosh. So I found the thing. So when you're doing these forgotten memory quests, you're basically trying to regain your memories, as the other version of you is called the Forgotten. And it says take care. The Forgotten Memories quests deal with some difficult emotions and themes, such as sadness, loneliness, and anger. If you're not in the right space to deal with these themes, consider returning to your village until you feel prepared to face them. So it's basically the game being like, if you can't do this right now, go fish for a bit. Go play with your villagers for a bit. Like, you don't have to do this right now.
Yep.
But it helps you kind of understand like why the Forgotten became the Forgotten. And I think that's another thing that's really important is, you know, some of us go to places in our lives and we like are really harsh critics of ourselves because we're not where we think we should be or whatever, or we've made a lot of mistakes. But that happens. And sometimes you need to revisit those moments and have grace and compassion for yourself. And when as you revisit them, you kind of come back and you talk to someone about them and they're like, what did you learn? And you're like, wow, this person's really sad. And sometimes it do be that way. I
agree. I think like, so for me, yeah, like I think the story is what goes best. And you mentioned, you know, the Mickey mini storyline. Another one that's sort of in a similar vein is the Anna and what's his name? His name has just walked out of my brain. Kristoff. Where at one point, in order to save the valley, they have to forget, or she has to forget.
He has to give up his love for her. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has to give up his love for her, and and they do it on the basis that they believe that they will sort of re-find each other and reconnect, and you're just like, oh my god, this is like, it's a pretty rough story, like, and you know, of people making the right decision and sacrificing for the greater good and kind of having trust that things will work out and that you will fix
things like that. It's not, yeah.
And I think it's just not what I was expecting. Because for me, the sort of core of cottagecore games is like Life Sim, where everything sort of revolves around the player character, and your present just always makes things better. And while that is generally the direction of stories within Disney Dreamlight Valley, there are times where things get worse, which is not commonly done. And I think that's what really distinguishes this game from the rest. And it's not like things get worse and the whole, you know, the valley blows up and everything's really bad, but it's more like worse on the personal level, which hits way harder, right? Because it's like things are worse for this individual character.
Yeah. So another thing that you do as you go through the world is like you're finding these letters written by the previous ruler, who was you. And some of them hit a little too hard. Like one of them you find it and it's, so some of them are like, you find this page of this journal or whatever, and it's like, I really like Mickey's house. It really feels like it's his house. Or like in Minnie's house, it's like Minnie always makes the best muffins or something like that. Like it's all like really cute like ways that you've connected with the characters. But then there's some like these two that I have. Loneliness is safe. If I am alone, then no one can ever leave me again.
Jesus.
Here's another one. It's only when the lights are on that I realize that my life is dark. In here, I'm safe.
Yeah, I just...
like, holy crap. Like, this game. Well, and I was telling some of my friends about it. I was like, this game goes hard for no reason. And they were like, have you ever seen a Disney movie? Because they do. I mean, Disney movies hit you hard. They hit you emotionally. They go through these themes of loss and trauma and everything. But when you think of a Disney game, I'm not thinking of that trauma. I'm thinking of, I'm going to play with some Disney characters and it's going to be fun and I'm going to make Maui help me fish.
Yeah, and you kind of just made something click for me, is that I think the difference is, yes, Disney movies address those themes, but those are other characters that's happening to. What this game is doing is they are putting those themes in for you, right? And they're very relatable.
From your perspective, yeah.
From your perspective, right? You normally, when those themes of loss or whatever it might be is happening, it's happening to another character. These are relatable themes that the majority of people will relate to or have related to at some point in their life. And the game is explicitly kind of writing down your thoughts, right? Your emotions on this stuff. That's what makes it, I think, hit a lot harder, is you're not observing this happening to someone else. This is happening to you, by you, from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've all had this stuff happen. Like, we've all had moments in our lives where we're like, I've been hurt by someone. I just kind of don't want to connect with anyone ever again so that I won't get hurt again. But even if those thoughts are fleeting, like, even if you think that for a split second and then you're like, no, that's not the way. Like, I have people who care about me. This one human is not like indicative of everyone, blah, 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 blah. That thought still is relatable.
Totally.
And it like gives you empathy for your own character. And then while you're doing that and you go through this game and this game is hurting you by having these emotions in it, you're also like encountering characters like Mirabelle, and she comes up and she's like, you're doing such a great job in the village. And then you walk by Mickey and he's like, I am so happy to see you right now. And you have these genuine conversations with them that feel like true to the character. Like, this ain't no Fae Farm. This ain't no Fae Farm. These are not hollow characters. These characters are real. Like, it is exactly what I would imagine Stitch says and how Stitch talks. And he's concerned about his badness level, which is on par with his character. I will say a lot of them, what they're going through is what, like, it's not in the middle of their movies. It's like after their movies. So, and the Frozen characters, for example, are after the 2 movies. So, it's not like you're meeting Kristoff and Anna and they haven't met yet or something. Like, it's more than that, but oof.
Yeah. And the thing is, for all of the varied emotions that this game makes you feel in the course of playing, I don't think I ever left a session of playing the game feeling down, right? Like you said, you have those genuine conversations with the characters in this game so frequently that even when it has those moments of introspection or reflection, you bounce back really quick. So I don't know that I've ever left the game in a state where I'm like, wow, that's really sitting with me in a negative way. Sometimes it kind of sat with me in a way that's like, it's reflective and nice, but it was never, I never left the game sort of feeling sad, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I usually have to like pull myself away from the game because I am having too much fun and I constantly have things to do. And I am always thinking about new ways that I could like clean up the village. The rocks everywhere are my nemesis. I get rid of so many.
Well, so this is probably my least favorite aspect of the game is living in the village itself. I find the way, so when villagers move in, you have to place their house at the start. It kind of is quite nice and you can find places where the houses fit quite easily. Once you get up past like 5 or 6 villages, the houses are too big and they kind of become an eyesore. And like I ended up just using the sunlit plateau as kind of like this dumping ground for houses because I didn't know where to put them.
Okay.
So this is the aspect of the game that really does not work for me, is the actual sort of cozy life sim, design the village, all of that sort of stuff does not work for me in the slightest in this game.
Yeah. I do agree, like, so I was originally trying to put the people where I think they'd want to be. Like, so, you get Ariel, and I'm like, obviously the ocean. Ursula, obviously the ocean. And then it was like Donald Duck. And I was like, well, it's a boat, and he's a sailor. Ocean. Moana. Well, she's going to want to live on the ocean. Maui. Stitch.
Yep.
Like, and then and those are most of the ones I've placed. They're all in on Dazzle Beach and I also just don't really care because I don't really like to go down there at all. But like they're all down there, and then so at this point, like if anyone else wants to, I've only opened like 4 of the realms or something, and so if anyone else wants to come, I'm like whatever. Remy's house? What?
You mean his apartment building?
His whole apartment building. Like, you can fit your house stacked 3 times on his house. Unnecessary. And then you think you put everything in the right way, and then someone else comes in and you're like, well, I have to put Minnie's house by Mickey's house, so I have to change this. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not... When I start placing more houses, I think they're just going to go wherever. Also, I don't like how 2 characters from the same world are getting their own houses. Like, why can't Moana live with Maui? Or vice versa. Like, figure it out.
I am on the same page with that one. It just doesn't quite work. And I think there's other aspects of it, right? Like the way the camera works and the sort of visual style that they've gone for. Like, I get it. It just doesn't... It's not as satisfying, right? Like, I spent hours and days and weeks of my life designing my world in Animal Crossing. I just don't have the desire to do that in this game. Like, the whole cosmetic side of this game is just zero appeal to me. And that extends to designing the interior of my own home, the outfits, all of those sorts of things. That's kind of meant to be sort of the fuel for the economy of this game. That side never really clicked for me.
Yeah. There are things that did click, though. I didn't like the lagging. It seems very laggy. I am hardwired in, and it is still pretty laggy. It freezes a lot. The load times of the game itself take a long time. Don't like any of that. I like the farming a lot. I like the hold down feature of the farming, so you don't have to like click each time you want to plant something. You can just hold it down and it'll do it in a line, which is awesome. This fishing mechanic seems really unique. And I like the fact that if you heck it up, the fish doesn't run away. Like if you're trying to catch it and you mistime your hitting of A or whatever, the fish doesn't leave. You just have to try it again. Some glitches, more lag. Oh, I have another quote. This game has no business going as hard as it does. Quote, loneliness is sharp. It cuts me like glass in my fingers, but it is much more awful than broken glass because I cannot see it or avoid it.
Just the deepest of cuts.
I really like the storage system is interlinked with crafting. So, and all the storage is linked together. So I just have chests everywhere and I just dump things into chests. And then if you go to the crafting table or the cooking station, it doesn't care. It's going to use whatever you have in any of your shorts.
Like I think the gameplay loop within the game is still really strong. You can kind of just constantly be running and moving around the world and collecting stuff and depositing it in chests and building stuff and things refresh at a fast enough rate that moving around and doing all of the, whether it's mining or fishing or farming, it flows really nicely, I think.
Yeah. And nothing has like a big urgency to it. So I can be running through the world and see a place I need to dig up. Though I will say the digging system sucks. Hate it.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Hate it.
Yep.
So, but like I'll see something, I'm like, oh, I want to dig that up because I want it's either Dreamlight shards or whatever, night shards or whatever. But like I need those for whatever quest I'm doing. Oh, and then look at that fish over there. I know I need for my Dreamlight duties so that I can get extra Dreamlight so I can unlock more realms. I know I need to like catch 3 fish in this area. And then I can collect that. And then a new Dreamlight task will come up and then I can do that one instead. And oh, why does Goofy have something over his head? He's got a quest for me now. Like, what's going on over there? Like, it really doesn't like punish you for getting distracted, which my ADHD loves. And it is pretty seamless. Have you played since it released on 1.0?
I don't believe so, because it only recently came into 1.0 and I haven't had a chance to jump back in.
Yeah. Okay. I did, because I realized that I hadn't jumped on it the last time I recorded, and I was talking to Al. And so I did to just double check it. I can confirm it's still on Game Pass, even though it's out for 1.0. It does not include the Rift into Time DLC, paid DLC. I think you still have to pay for that. Or it's just not available on Game Pass. The notable things is that the load screens look different. And they feel maybe a little faster. Maybe by like a minute. A lot. Your NPCs can go to different villages. Which I wonder if like this is part of multiplayer. So like if you are playing multiplayer with someone, like they're maybe in their village and you're in your village, and it's kind of like a simultaneous multiplayer thing, and your characters might go over to their village or something. It's not clear to me what that means. The map is also updated, so it looks a little crisper, and you can turn off right now the map, before 1.0, the map included where characters were, where their homes were, and where forageable or harvestable crops are. And you can turn off any of those things. So I generally don't care where houses are. I know where they are. I've run around this thing for 85 hours at this point. I know where they are. And I don't care about the plants. So I just want to know where people are. So I turn those off. And for me, the game froze 10 minutes after playing the first time. I was just trying to harvest something, but it never happened again. The game hasn't frozen for me. But other than that, it's not super, super different. They just added more content. There are these like Russian nesting dolls all over, and I don't know who that's for.
I'm not sure either.
Like Anastasia is not Disney. I think of like what, I don't know. I will find out when I play. Because there's just all these little Russian nesting dolls everywhere. Because it's like, I think Merlin comes up to you and he's like, someone seems to be coming to the village. There's these dolls all over. Can you find all of the dolls? And then maybe you can put them into each other, and then you can like figure out who's trying to come.
I have looked it up, and I will not spoil it for you.
Is it?
No. I think I would have sat here and not come up with that for a long time.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's fun. I mean, the only person I can think of off the top of my head is Jack Skellington, because I know he comes to the... But I don't know why. So my overall thoughts are, I'm going to continue to play this game. I might take a break if it starts getting hard. I haven't gotten credits yet, so... and I'm assuming after credits, like, you still can, like, play and gain friendship with people.
Oh, yeah. Like credits is more tied to the sort of your character's storyline.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot around that. Like, you can hit credits without doing a lot of the stuff in the game. You still need to do a lot of it, because you need to unlock areas and collect stuff and all of those sorts of things. But in general, I would say that hitting credits is a nice goal in this game, where it can be a nice point to sort of bounce off if you're into the game, into the characters, and it kind of gives you enough. And then, if it's something you're really feeling, there's plenty more, and there will be plenty more coming out to sort of jump into and work out if you want to stick with it.
Last couple questions that I have for you. What is your favorite critter?
Turtle. I love the turtles. The turtles are super cute.
They are.
Yeah.
I like how they like go into they're like scared of you, and they go into their shell, but they only go in their head. Like their little flippies are still out, which is really cute. I like the purple one. So the critters, like there's one in each biome, and you get different colors. And I think the different colors come out at different times. And once you've completed... It took me a hot minute. I actually had to Google a couple of these to figure out how the heck to do them, because some of them you just wait. Some of them, like the squirrels, you can just walk up and be like, hey, you want something? And they're like, yeah. And then others, like the turtles, get scared, and then you gotta wait, and then they like come out. And after you become like good enough friends with them, they'll follow you around. So I have a fox right now. I love the foxes, but I do also really like the ravens. I just don't like what the ravens want. It's really annoying, actually. And then the crocodiles, I didn't even notice them for a very long time.
Yeah,
because they're very small. And then favorite villager. Who's your favorite character that you've interacted with so far in this?
I really like the way, and I think I gave this answer a year ago and it is still the same, but I think Wally is far and away the best character in this game. The way some of his stories where he interacts with other characters are really well done, and I think maybe the reason it stands out is, one, Wally is awesome. I love the movie. It's just great. But they find really genuine interaction points for him with other characters. In particular, the one that stands out the most is both him and Ariel have they bond over enjoying collecting human artifacts. Which is so true to both of their character, and for me that's probably the like quintessential example of the thoughtfulness that's gone into the writing behind each of these characters. I've thought, okay, Wally generally has these traits and these things that are true about him. Who do we get Wally to interact with in a way that feels genuine? And for a character that doesn't speak, the range of emotions that Wally is able to display it's incredible. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
So I'm actually trying to think about that. I think that I've always had kind of a connection to Goofy. I really like Goofy. I grew up with the Goofy movie, and I love the concept of like in the, I guess he's happy in this, and like every time you talk to him he's really optimistic and happy in this, but like in the Goofy movie you really see him start to like get angry and get hurt and get offended. And so I've always like kind of had a soft spot for him. I was gonna say there was another one that I was thinking of. I have not yet unlocked Belle. And I think Belle is the Disney princess that I most relate with. Lock me away in a tower with books. Pull my arm. So yeah, I think I most relate to Belle, and I am really excited to meet her and see what she's been doing since all that not Stockholm syndrome stuff going on. But that's like I haven't done that yet, so I don't know. Yeah, I think those are the ones that I really like. Not the ones that hurt me the most though. Oh my gosh. I did love Olaf. So one of Olaf's like daily discussions that you can have with him, he's just like, do you want to know a cool fact? And you can be like, yeah. And then he'll just tell you a cool fact for, I'm assuming, as long as you want. He'll be like, did you know that this insect does this? And you can be like, wow, I didn't know that. Give me another one. And you just keep hitting give me another one. And he keeps giving you facts about like whales do this. Did you know that there's places in the world that this happens? Did you know that the space is infinite and constantly expanding? And he just like is just like throwing these facts out. And then finally you can just be like, wow, thanks a lot. That was enough.
Yeah.
And then he'll be like, okay, bye. But I just was like I was hanging out with Olaf for a while.
I am so pleased that you brought up Olaf, because he is one of those characters that would be so easy to make kind of cringy or too childish or, you know, whatever. And he is still very much Olaf in that he's obscenely positive, and it's done in a way that you, like you said, you want to spend time with the Olaf character. I had him following me around for ages, even when he was at level 10. Like, if I had to have a character following me around most of the time, it would probably be Olaf in this game. Because I think he's probably one of the stronger characters in terms of his interaction with the player character. I don't really recall too much of him interacting with other characters at all. But those moments and just how excited he is for everything in such an earnest way, I thoroughly enjoyed.
I think the biggest thing that I can remember, like, he's the one He was like, he told me to go to the Frozen Realm first. Like, I hadn't gone there yet. And then he was like, oh, you need to go find Elsa. And I was like, okay, fine. But I just did a quest for the fairy godmother. And she was like, do some things that make some people happy. And one of the things was to give Olaf 100 sticks. I skipped through a lot of the dialogue because I am mentally not reading right now. Like, I want to feel good. I want to see those hearts or stars go above their head and know that like that Olaf is happy that I gave him 100 sticks. I don't know if it's because he was worried that he's lost his arms so many times that he like wants to make sure he has backups. I don't know if he's gonna make something with them. It was do those things, make pumpkin soup for Anna, makes sense, and bring 3 amethysts to Ursula, makes sense. Like, just.
And I think that kind of just hits on something else, right? So we haven't talked too much about the actual quest system, and most of the quests are just like bring a person the stuff or craft a thing for the person. The thing that I think makes it not super annoying is one we talked about before, but just running around the world is kind of fun, and doing that collecting stuff is fun. But also, in general, the things that they're asking for, I feel like make sense. They're not, they're never really asking for like, wow, for this quest, we just need you to collect 100 of the thing that's at the right level. Like, sometimes, if the thing you need is the basic thing, then that's all they ask you to collect. So I find that aspect works really well. Like, there are times, because it is just collecting stuff, there are times where they ask you to collect something like, oh, do I have to really collect, like, 4 diamonds, right? Because they're the rarest gem, and so that's a tad annoying. But in general, I find like the quest like, okay, cool, let's go find that stuff and just go and get it. So I like the way the quests work in this game.
Yeah, I also really like the some of the quests like are someone saying, hey, can you go give so-and-so this thing? Like, go give Anna some soup, go give this person this, blah, blah, blah. But there are times when it's like Stitch wanting to apologize to Ursula, and you kind of like set it up for him, and then it just says follow Stitch to Ursula, and then they meet, and then it just says listen to their conversation. And then they have a genuine conversation back and forth. And this happens with Mickey and Minnie. It happens it happens with multiple characters, and it's just wholesome. Like, and it allows you don't feel like you are dictating the conversation, because it's usually like someone says something to you and then you click a thing and then someone says, it's like these characters have agency on their own. They are fully realized and they are interacting with each other in this world, whether you are there or not. And they come to you in their
I totally agree. It's one of those aspects where it's often the thing that happens off screen in games where, you'll bring someone the thing and they'll be like, great, I'm going to go apologize to so-and-so. And then you instantly talk to them again and they'll be like, great, so we apologized and we're best friends now. You're like, okay. Whereas in this game, they're like, I'm going to go apologize. And they walk off and go and apologize, right? It's
And like the part of the quest is you to go like watch the apology.
Yes.
Like you are an active participant.
Yeah, they make sure that you see the impact of the world that you're having on the world without like your character doesn't interject. Like it's more just it's almost designed like you are walking past and just observing that happening
and supporting like. Because some of them, it seems like Stitch wants your help. Like he wants you there to support him. He's scared to talk to her. He is genuinely upset that he annoys her or whatever, and he needs your like support and you to stand behind him and be like, yeah, you're doing a good thing. You're good. So yeah,
it's just so good. I don't know that I have too much else to say on the game. I guess, who would you recommend this game to, Cody? Do you think this game is for everybody?
I don't think it's for everybody. If you are not a Disney fan, you're not going to like this game. Like, the aspect, like, the reason it hits so well for me is because I grew up with Disney. I grew up on Disney movies. I have genuine love for a lot of these characters. But if it's something that you never really got into, you have no desire. Because a lot of these characters, they don't explain to you who Mickey is. They don't explain who Stitch is. They don't explain their story at all. They just assume that you've seen the movie. So I think, like, if you haven't seen Disney movies, which I don't know how, not everyone has. If you haven't seen these movies, this game might miss you. Like, you might not connect to everything. If you are not a very character driven person, if you are more of a hack and slash, like you want to go kill things, like, this game has no combat. So this game is very narrative driven and character driven and plot driven, just with some casual cottagecore vibes thrown in, fishing, mining, things like that. But if you're listening to this podcast, odds are you will like this game.
Yeah, I think I agree. The game relies heavily on you having an association with the characters, and if you have that, this game is incredible. It's to me one of those games that I think it can't really be replicated, right? There is no other brand that has the breadth of IP that I would care about as deeply as I care about this, right? To talk about a game that's on the horizon, Tales of the Shire. For me, that's something that will be more driven by, for my enjoyment of it, will be more driven by the world and the love for, Middle Earth as a setting. It's not something where I necessarily want to go and have in-depth conversations with all of the characters from Lord of the Rings. That's maybe not the appeal for me in
right.
that sort of game. So I think this is the sort of game that can really only exist once. It's just so amazing to me that they've done such a good job with it, because there are so many ways that this game could have just taken that half step into, too on the nose, too positive, too whatever, and they haven't. Like, this game is just really lovingly crafted, and if you like Disney in any way, I find it hard to believe that you will not like this game.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, no notes. Agree. If you're ready to be, if you haven't been hurt by Disney enough, wait till you play Disney Dreamlight Valley. If you've been sitting here being like, man, these movies recently, they haven't been, really hurting, this movie's for you. Or not movie, game. This game's for you. So yeah, I think that's our episode.
I think so.
Jonnie, where on the internet can people find you?
As always, you can find me by going to patreon.com/thspod. Support Al, support this great endeavor, support all the hard work that he puts in. Last week, he and Cody recorded an episode immediately after the wholesome snack, and then he immediately jumped into editing it and posting it so that it came out, on time for the week. So he puts a lot of work in behind the scenes to make this show happen. So if you can, patreon.com/thspod gives you access to the Slack where we all hang out and chat all things farming games. So come and join us there and ask us questions. Cody, where can people find you?
I mean, same. I'm also on the Slack, but if you are not able to donate to that, to the Patreon to get Slack access, I'm also on Twitter at Cody Mathis, also on Blue Sky, Cody Mathis, also on Instagram at Hiking Beagle, B-E-Eagle. You can find Al on Twitter and X as the ScottBot. Also on Mastodon.Scott. Scott has one T. You can find the podcast on Tumblr and Twitter at THSPod. If you have any feedbacks or want to get the links to the show notes or anything like that, or if you have any questions, it'd be really cool to do. I've been really jonesing to do a listener question episode. So if you have some questions for us, whether they are related to farming games or not, they don't have to be. Then you can find all of that information at the website harvestseason.club. Yeah, that's what we got. Thank you, Jonnie, for talking in this game with me. I look forward to playing some game with you, but not the other game. What game are we going to play together?
We're either going to play Palia, but really, we're going to be playing Lego Fortnite together.
We're not going to play... No, we're not playing... We're going to play Palia. We're not going to play Lego Fortnite.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. Listeners, write in and ask how much Cody enjoys Lego Fortnite.
No. I can't do it. So yeah, thanks for joining me, Jonnie. This is a lot of fun. Oh, as always.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, until next time.
Have a good harvest.
The harvest season is created by Al McKinley, with support from our patrons, including our pro farmers, Kevin, Stuart, and Elisa. Our art is done by Micah the Brave, and our music is done by Nick Burgess. Feel free to visit our website, harvestseason.club, for show notes and links to things we discussed in this episode.
Yeah, we did that at totally different speeds. Good luck, Al. It's so impossible to get the timing right on that. Every time I'm like, okay, this time I'm gonna go faster than last time, slower than last time. I'm always wrong.
See, that's the thing.
Always wrong.
You have to do it at the same time every single time, because that's the other thing. I've timed it specifically how I know people say it, so that I know that I'm gonna hit it at the same time. And it's always have a good harvest.
But I feel like the extended hers, we're working out if we're aligned. It's where we both start doing that. Then it's like, have a good harvest.
It's like with the Pokemon podcast, it's super effective. He always says it the same way. So this has been another episode of the Pokemon podcast, and we are he always says the exact same way.
Yeah, the problem is we always rotate through it. It's always slightly different hosts. I feel like it's slightly different, and that always trips me up. So that's my excuse anyway, and I'm sticking to it.